Hello, now just doing a video on this T.Flight Hotas 4 about a small couple of modifications you can do to get it a lot nicer. Now the problem I had with this was the throttle control lever is really loose and floppy, and it also had a notch in the middle as well, so it stops in the middle, and when you turn the tension up a bit, as I'm going to show you briefly, that notch becomes really unbearable, so you're going to have to file it down if you want to do this. But yeah, this is absolutely perfect. But the throttle control is just a little bit too well, not a little bit, but way too loose. So you take the bottom panel off here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, and then 6 and 7 holes there. So there's one pocketed down there, if you can see it, and there's one there, which are the ones you have to keep an eye on because they're hidden away a bit. Now, so we take that off, you get inside here, which I shall do very gently, and you'll see there is the wiring thing, all the wiring there, and all the wiring foot buttons and stuff like that. But you'll see this piece of kit here, which is held in by 2 screws, one where my thumb is there and one where my index finger is there. You take them 2 screws out. Doing so, expect this to pop out, because you'll see that this little thing here is very greasy. But essentially, how this works is the spring adds tension, and the tension pushes against this, which in turn pushes against the top plastic that's above it. Now, if you look at this top plastic, you'll see there's a groove in the middle, all full of grease. Now that's where the plastic, which is on a notch on this, sits in. Now you can see I have filed that notch completely away, but as soon as you pick this up, you'll see there's like a line, like a thick plastic line that's on the top. Just take a Stanley knife to it, take it off, and get a file on it or a bit of sandpaper or something, and just get it roughly smooth. As you can see there, it's pretty smooth, and it operates quite well without the notch, because I found that with the notch, with the extra pressure, was just way too much. So here is the piece in question. Now this is the spring. I have already extruded this spring by grabbing one side of it with pliers, grabbing the other side with pliers if you've got pliers, but I just grabbed it with me shirt wrapped around my hand and pulling it out, and then just trying to flatten out the top, and there you go, really. I mean, then you've got a tense spring there, and that adds a hell of a lot more resistance to the throttle. Well, the best thing to do is to pull this out as far as you can, really, whilst keeping it alright. Another good thing to do is grip both ends with pliers and then twist it round, because as you pull it out, it gets fatter. You want it still to be thin, so grab it out, twist it round, and then once it's a bit longer, like this, you can put it back in, right? Put this back over. I won't do it with the camera, but you insert it back into there, and put this back over the top. Now, what you'll find when you get back in there is it might be a bit too strong for you, as it was in my case. Now, before you put the back on, test all the strengths and stuff like that, and see what you feel to it, see what you think to it. But the way to adjust the tension after that, which is a handy little tip, is to just loosen the screws there and there at the top. Not by too much, but just by a couple of turns or whatever, and that releases the pressure slightly, so you can actually fine-tune the throttle pressure with this piece of kit, then, with the 2 screws at the top and bottom of this. Don't go too far, or it'll offset the actual thing and won't hold it in properly, but just going from tight to slightly looser, I found made a bit of a difference, to the fine-tuning of it. But apart from that, that's more or less it, really. I mean, there's all sorts of other stuff you could do once you're in here, like put in new buttons and stuff like that. There's no need for any of that. In my case, I find it, the device is quite good. It just needs a bit of extra throttle pressure. So I hope that has helped somebody else out. The only other thing to take note of is when you take it out, if this comes out, it has to be in before you put it back on, if you know what I mean. So don't put it back on, get it all seated in place, and then realise that you have to put that in first. That has to be in if you take this handle out. So right, I think that's everything. Right, best of luck. Ta-ra.